Hi, I'm Jared Riffle. I'm a senior chemistry and biology double major at Wilmington College, here to interview Ashley.
Hi.
Ashley, could you indicate why and how your interest in medicine and the medical field developed?
Well, I would say that my interest in the medical field probably started at a younger age, just in general. When I was younger, I always wanted to go into medicine, like even talking like as young as 5 years old. I was always interested in helping people, and I know that's very generic, but as I grew up and really learned the medical field, I kind of realized that my real interests were also in the science part of medicine. As going into high school and even in middle school, I really enjoyed learning about science and all the research behind developing and learning new things about the human body, as well as just the different facets of the medical field and how specialized certain things can be and how the different pieces and how everything really comes together and works together in the body is something that I really like about the medical field and how important it is and how different it can be for each different person. So I think it's something that's very ever-changing, and I think it's very interesting and proves to be a very challenging and stimulating life.
Very nice. What have you done to demonstrate your commitment to this profession?
So as far as my commitment to the profession goes, starting even in high school, I did, even before high school, my mom worked at an assisted living home, and I did some volunteering there just with the elderly, some casual stuff as far as playing games with them, and then I also was a live-in aide for a neighbor that lived down the street, and me and my stepsister actually watched and cared for an elderly lady who had diabetes and Alzheimer's, so that was something else that I did. But that was paid, so it wasn't essentially volunteering or shadowing. But as far as other commitments go, as I went into my college career, I started doing volunteering and shadowing in various fields. I shadowed in dermatology. I also shadowed at a surgical center with various specialties such as orthopedics. And I also have shadowed with pediatrics, which is really enriching. And as far as volunteering goes, I've shadowed at a pulmonary and physical therapy clinic, which is really something that I've enjoyed. It's a lot of elderly people, a lot of them with either some heart issues, lung issues such as COPD, and basically the program is physical therapy, so they exercise and do certain activities to try to get their lungs in better health so that they can live daily life, do daily activities such as walking up the stairs or even getting out of bed for some of them. And we basically take their blood pressure, their pulse ox, things like that, just to see how they're going. And we got to basically interact with the patients and talk to them, which was something that I really enjoyed because you can learn a lot from elderly people. They've lived long lives and they have lots to share about. And I also got the opportunity to volunteer at St. Joseph's Children's Hospital on the hematology and oncology floor, which can be challenging at times because some of these kids have really serious issues. But at the same time, as a child life specialist volunteer, I get to essentially play with the kids and kind of help them forget that they're in these situations and that they're even in the hospital. And that's something that's really fun to do.
Very nice. You mentioned your major. Could you indicate how and why you chose your specific major and how this choice has benefited you both personally and professionally?
Yeah, so my major at the University of South Florida is biomedical sciences, and I'm actually a transfer student at the University of South Florida. So my previous major at my other school, Bethany College, was chemistry with a concentration in biology. So very similar to the biomedical sciences major. Essentially, I chose that major because it was the best fit as far as the classes that I wanted to take and as far as prerequisites for the MCAT medical school. And I've liked the major so far. There is freedom as far as which classes you want to take in the upper level, biology and chemistry, which is something that I enjoy, as well as those core classes that we need to take. And I think something that I'm most thankful for in that major is the fact that it places me in classes where I get to meet other individuals who have the same goals and interests that I do. So my best friend, I actually met her at USF, and she is also an aspiring doctor. And it's really interesting because we actually are roommates now, and we can become very close, and we would have never had that opportunity if we would have never picked the same major and gone to the same school. So it's important to have a good support system, and I think that's what I have in her as a person.
Very nice. What would you say your most difficult course has been that you've had in your major?
Oh, definitely physics. For whatever reason, physics is something that's always been really challenging to me. I like math, and it's not that I'm terrible at it, but I think with physics, as far as relating it to medicine, they don't do a great job at teaching at USF, where it's actually very ironic because physics actually stems from physiology, and the two go together really well, and they actually explain each other really well. So I'm actually taking another course next semester that helps tie the two together, and hoping that will help me get a better understanding of the field.
Okay. What is your favorite class, Matt?
Definitely physiology.
Physiology.
I love learning about the processes of the body and really understanding what's going on, and past the molecular level into something more that's real life applicable.
Very nice. Where would you see your ideal life being in 10 years? What you'd be doing, personal life, and what you would be working on?
Yeah, so in 10 years, I guess I could still be in my residency, depending on what residency I'm in, considering they can be as long as 7 years. So if I decide to go down my path of wanting to pursue plastic surgery, I could be in a plastic surgery residency. Hopefully at that point, my boyfriend's also pre-med, aspiring doctor, and planning on getting married. So hopefully we'll be married by that point and living in a home together in the same area. That's the dream. That's the goal. I'm very family oriented. I've always wanted to have a family, and I think that being able to have a family and being a physician are very possible things. I've seen lots of women do it, and I plan to be one of those women. I'm very good at handling different challenges, and I have a great family and a great support system. So I think that my goal would to be in my residency, be loving it. I don't see why I wouldn't. I really would be happy doing anything in the medical field. I just am passionate about it, and I think it's something that really helps me with. I have a great interest in it. I love developing new things and of that nature, and I think that my dream is to be happily married with the ideas of a family in my residency, about to become and start my own practice one day in 10 years. So that's the goal.
Good goal. Describe a time when something negative happened, or you went through something difficult, but which in hindsight can be viewed positively. Something you maybe overcome.
So something difficult would probably be when I was around 12 years old. My parents got divorced. We had just moved back to Pennsylvania, where I was from, and they ended up getting divorced, which of course is not any 12-year-old's dream. So it was very hard for me and my brother at first, and we kind of learned how to go through it. It was a very bad divorce. Our parents really hated each other, and they kind of dragged us through it. But I also think that it's something that made me incredibly strong and independent, as well as outgoing. So I'm really thankful for it in the sense that it really made me who I am, and I don't think I would have been as resilient and as strong as a person as I am today without that event happening in my life, as well as I don't think I would have been able to build the relationship with my parents that I've built. Because through them getting divorced, I've gotten to really know each of them on a personal level that I don't think I ever would have been able to reach had they not been divorced. And I don't think I would have become the most independent and strong version of myself that I am without that event either. So that's my positive outlook on it.
How would you describe leadership? Your specific leadership style, an example of when you then maybe had to change that style depending on a specific need that arose.
Yeah, so my leadership style, I would say, is pretty traditional as far as the term leadership goes. So more of an executive leader, somebody who is very confident and outgoing, and they kind of are the one that people tend to look towards for guidance, or the one that makes a plan of strategy and helps delegate problems or issues or even what everyone needs to be doing. So that's kind of my general type of leadership, although I'm very much so about teamwork and everybody working together and having each person do what they're going to do the best at, and then using each person's strengths to make the best final product or decision or whatever it may be. So, but that type of leadership style can be challenging when you're put in a group with somebody who has that same leadership style, who also has a very strong personality, very outgoing, wants to kind of be the head of the group or something of that nature. So when I was a manager at an ice cream store, there was girls who were older than me, and there was one girl in particular. She actually also happened to be pre-med. So she's very intelligent and also very strong, very executive leader type. And so being her boss was challenging at times because sometimes there was kind of a power struggle, and I would have to kind of step back and reassess the way that I typically acted in a leadership position and kind of give her the idea and also help her know that her opinions and her actions and ideas also mattered and that I respected her. I think respect is one of the biggest things. So no matter what kind of leadership style you have, I think it's also very important to show respect, because as far as communication goes, respect is one of the most important things, and that's how good teamwork comes about, is everybody mutually respecting each other. So
What do you think is a more important quality for a good health professional? Independent thinker or maybe team player? You mentioned it a little bit before.
yeah, so definitely team player. I'm really about teamwork and collaboration. That's actually one of the things that I love about like group projects in school, is just the fact that you could have 5 different people and they could be very different, but each one has a strength and each one has a weakness, and using each person's strengths to make a amazing final product is something I think that's really cool. And even just the fact that you could have a room full of intelligent people, but they each tackle a problem differently, and there's something great about the way that each person tackles that problem. And I think that extrapolating those different ideas and putting them together makes one even greater idea that one person on their own could have never thought of.
So how would you relate that more to medical professionals?
So as far as,
say like a hospital setting.
So say a hospital setting, you have a really difficult case, and you're a physician, and you're the head physician on that case, and you're not really sure what disease it could be, and you think it could be something of this nature, but if you treat that with, say, an antibiotic, it could get worse. Or it could do nothing, it could potentially even kill the person. So I think the best thing to do would be to ask another colleague, or even, say, ask some younger colleagues that are learning, and they might have a fresher, more unbiased view on the case or something of that nature. And even shadowing, I've seen physicians do it. The one anesthesiologist that I shadowed, when she was in a pinch and she didn't think she was being totally clear-minded on something, she would take the time to go back to her office and either call or even text a colleague and get their opinion on the case, and just to make sure that her opinion wasn't the only sane way of doing something. And I think that's really remarkable, to be able to say, I can ask somebody else, and I'm not the only person that can handle this problem.
That sounds like it's a lot better for patient care.
Yes, definitely a lot better for patient care. The patient's best should always be at heart and mind.
All right.
Well, thank you for interviewing me today.
Very welcome.